Well, if it looks like I'm smiling, ladies and gentlemen, that's because I'm excited about talking about Joe Biden some more. And look, I have every right as an American citizen to treasure every single second of this Joe Biden talk. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't going to last much longer. The ship is not sunk yet, but let me tell you what. They are loading up the lifeboats and they are taking on water, and the distress signal has been sent, and the Celine Dion music is playing in the background because people, he is going down, and he is going down real quick. Joe Biden's still doing town halls inexplicably. Here's him discussing AK-47s.
No, and by the way, those who say the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots, a great line. Well, guess what? The fact is, if you're going to take on the government, you need an F-15 with Hellfire missiles. There's no way an AK-47 is going to take care of you if you're going to take on, you're worried about the government coming down, knocking down your door. And so it's bizarre. We never said you could own any weapon at all from the beginning. You can't own a machine gun. You can't own a bazooka. You can't own an M1 tank. No matter how much money you have, you can limit the kind of weapons that are able to be owned. And so I think, and by the way, all the work I've done on this, including in our administration, I now have over 58% of the NRA members acknowledging you can't own an assault weapon. There's no need for it. You can't have a magazine that has more than 10 rounds in it.
Well, it's going to take me just a minute to unpack everything that was horrifically wrong about that. First of all, let's address the F-15 and Hellfire missiles. F-15s do not have Hellfire missiles. One would think Joe Biden, who's been in Washington, D.C. since George Washington crossed the Delaware, would be aware of little things like that. Two, an AK-47 ain't going to do any good when you're fighting the government. Somebody should probably tell the Viet Cong that. Somebody maybe should tell the Taliban, who we've been fighting for 20 years with Hellfire missiles and special operations and every fancy gadget underneath the sun, and we're currently negotiating with them in peace talks to try to exit the country where they will then take over. A lot of people have won a lot of wars with AK-47s. Three, it's not just the blood of patriots. That's not the way that the quote goes. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. And when people cite the Second Amendment, they pretty much like to focus on that part because the Second Amendment was not about hunting deer. It was not about protecting your home. The Second Amendment was so the United States government could never turn despotic and turn on the American people. I know that may make you uncomfortable, but once again, I'm right. And for him to say, well, it's always been this way, you've never been able to, that's not necessarily the case. Throughout the history of the United States of America, most of our history, you could own any weapon the government could own. Why? Because the founders knew you might have to take on the government. Again, this is stuff people don't like to talk about. And you certainly can't bring this up when you're running for office. Well, we need reasonable regulations. No, we don't, actually. Not at all. Oh, in case you thought I was done, Joe Biden is screaming at reporters again. Here he is when he's asked about Hunter.
The Justice Department is vetting information from Rudy Giuliani about your son's work in Ukraine. Are you concerned a federal investigation may be launched?
Rudy Giuliani.
Are you concerned a federal investigation may be launched? Are you concerned a federal investigation?
No, look, I expect Trump to do the same exact thing he's been doing. Why has he been attacking me from the beginning? Why did he risk, and he should have been impeached, why did he risk getting convicted by going to a foreign leader to say, you don't have to give me anything on Biden, there's nothing to get, just tell me that you're going to investigate him so I can hurt him. Have you ever seen a sitting president as concerned about a single nominee and trying to stop a nominee?
Do you think your son is fair game, Mr. Vice President? Do you think your son is fair game here?
His son or my son?
Your son, Hunter.
I don't think our sons are fair game at all. No one has said he's done anything wrong except the thug Rudy Giuliani. Come on. Rudy Giuliani? A character witness?
Mr. Vice President, speaking to voters...
Well, I don't know what was more accurate about that. Joe Biden continually interrupting the reporter or him constantly saying this line. Who told him this is a good line? Nobody's saying he did anything wrong. You remember he yelled that at, I believe it was Savannah Guthrie last week. We played the clip for you on the show. Nobody said he did anything wrong. Joe, if everybody's asking you the question, lots of people think you did something wrong.